Hello, I'm Zaphod0 and I'm testing and ranking the gliders of Palworld by distance and speed. Today, we'll be starting with the Hyper Glider so that you can see what and how far I go without having any gliding pals in my inventory. Just the straight up Hyper Glider, best one so far in the game, and we'll see how far I go. I'm going to launch off of the next to the Genetic Pal Tower and head toward the PIDF Tower. Alright, here we go. Launch time. Now, this does take a bit, but for the sake of the experiment, I'm not going to speed it up or anything. You're just going to watch me glide through the air, all tranquil-like, because this would be actually really fun to do. Mildly terrifying, but really fun to do. And I know those things aren't aerodynamic. Something about elephant tusks not really made for that. Okay, so here we are approaching the desert. Just below half stamina. Okay. Here we are approaching Dune Shelter. And looks like that's about as far as we get. And if you didn't know, using the grappling hook will prevent fall damage. Alright, there's number one. Next up, Celeray Lux. Now, if you look up the stats, you will find out that Celeray and Celeray Lux have the same speeds. So, I figured I could use whichever one. I do prefer the color scheme of this one, the shiny black and yellow. And one of the main reasons is the Palpedia description. For Celeray Lux, it says, its flashy patterns help it attract a partner. But after a long history of electrocution incidents involving Celeray Lux, a yellow and black stripes are now seen across the island as a sign of danger. I would imagine so. I don't think I'd mess with an electric mantis either. But here we are. We will fly through the air and see how far we get, and then mark the spot. Looks like we're doing a little bit better than just the Hyper Glider. So Celeray definitely makes a difference. However, it does look like we are almost out of stamina again. And there we go. Falling, falling, falling. Alright. There's the mark for Celeray. And next up is Killamari Primo. Once again, if you look up the stats, they are exactly the same as Killamari. So, I just picked the Primo because I had one. Now, if you look them up in the Palpedia, it says, for Killamari Primo, it sinks its fangs into the enemy's neck, draining every last drop of blood. When two Killamari Primos latch onto each other, they become locked in a relentless struggle, each trying to suck the other dry until one withers away. That seems brutal. Not really a great way to reproduce. But I guess it also means if you're ever in danger of one, you just find another and kick them towards each other. They latch on and bam. One's toast, the other one's gone. Okay, here we go, floating through the air. We are almost past Dune Shelter, so definitely doing better on this one. The PAL description, when it mentions the saddle, if you have it, it does lift you in the air a tiny bit and allows you to hover slower. So I did expect us to get further. Looks like I will make it about as far as I have stamina, though. But each different thing has a different stamina drain effect, too. And there it goes. No more stamina. And it looks like the Killamari Primo has made it the furthest. So far. Next up, Hang You. This one is the actual reason that I made the whole video. Because I hadn't heard anybody say anything about it. Everyone preferred actually the Gale Claw or just a regular glider. I prefer the hang you because when you launch off, it actually kind of lifts you up a bit. So you can actually ascend fairly easily. On top of that, it has some really hardcore flavor text. The Palpedia says for Hangyu, its gigantic arms can rip apart even iron. As a particularly cruel form of execution, serious criminals would be strung up in a public square, and a Hangyu would tear the skin right from their bones. Brutal. But I have friendly ones. They're my friends. They have my trust. They're good. And they make it so that I can fly. Because essentially, I'm just cruising here. It's not going super duper fast, but I can fix that. Looks like I'm way higher than any of the other ones. Just ran out of the same amount of stamina. So the Killamari definitely took less stamina and got me further. The other three looked like they were roughly around the same spot and took about the same amount of stamina. Last up, we have Gale Claw. Now, this is the only PAL that you can glide with and use a gun at the same time. Now, I found out the hard way, it does not work with the rocket launcher or meteor launcher because they require two hands. I haven't tried it with the Gatling guns, but I would imagine you could probably use it with any of the assault rifle type weapons. The Palpedia says this about Gelclaw. A PAL that can easily take flight even while grasping a human. It is, however, prone to letting go when tired, which has led to the sudden demise of more than a few souls. So they're going to drop you like a bad habit. Unfortunately, it also looks like the Gale Claw does not do so well as far as an actual glider goes. It doesn't seem to be fast, and it doesn't seem to be efficient on stamina, and I am going down in this little forest here. Which tells me the Gale Claw is the worst glider here. There we go. Alright, here is the bonus one. We're going to use Hangyu Prime. This is one that I bred, and I named him Hangyu Prime. He has a few of the speed boosts. I believe it is Runner, Nimble, and one of the other ones. If you'll notice, he does go quite fast. Just cruising along. I do plan to breed better ones with all 4 speed improvement passives, just to make sure that I can go really, really fast. This Hangyu is also level 3, leveled him up as far as his PAL skill, and I want to get him up to 5 and see how far he goes. So far, easily outdistancing all of the other ones. And at some point, I will probably go through and breed all of the other ones as well, so that I can definitely make sure that the Hangyu is the most powerful. At least as far as the glider goes. It's definitely not one of the most powerful as far as attacks go. But with his help, I don't really use flying pals to travel around the map. I just wing it. There's the Hyperglider. There's the Celeray, the Killamari Primo. Or no, that was the Hangyu. There's the Killamari Primo, and then there's the Hangyu Prime. Thank you for coming along with me on this journey. I'm Zaphod0, and I'm probably going to be back with more Palworld content and some other stuff. So please like and subscribe if you liked and want to subscribe to this. If you don't hit the like button. Don't subscribe. Don't do anything you don't want to do, because you are a human. You deserve to live. You deserve to exist in this world, and I love all of you. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great night. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have a great everything. Great year. If you don't have anything, it's not great.